Check this.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Chaotic Strategies. It's your boy Trav, and we are back with some more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Today's video is going to be a little bit shorter than last week's video. Before we dive into Chapter 4 and the new event story that we have active right now, which is Save Spring, I think it's time to kind of dive into more in-depth on how we build our characters and properly build our characters without wasting gems, without wasting gold, and without wasting a lot of time. So we're gonna go ahead and spend this video diving into our character development. So first thing we're gonna do is jump on into our hero section. Now, of course, we have a list of heroes, and I haven't really done anything with them. I haven't done anything with them because I've kind of been waiting for this day. We're at the point right now where we really need to start figuring out what characters we want to level up moving forward. Within the main story, it doesn't really matter. But once we get event missions like this start to pop up, then we kind of want to pick and choose. If it wasn't for the event mission, I would probably be saving this part of the video for a little bit later, at least until after Chapter 5. But I figured right now with the event mission, and I've already played the event mission on my other profile, characters right now are not near strong enough to take on these missions within the new event. So we're going to go ahead and start jumping into kind of developing these characters to get our CP up. So I'm going to start with a very basic character, so that way you all kind of get the idea of how to generally build a character. So we're just going to start with this guy right here, Champion Taizo. So the first thing, when we want to enhance our hero, we can't evolve our hero until we have our levels maxed out. So we're going to come over here into the enhancement. I don't have much right now as far as the enhanced potions go, but we can get the enhanced potions from the Fort Solgris missions, and you know, as you play through the game, you can buy potions and upgrade them with King, which I'll get into here in just a little bit. So just one of those is going to max us out to level 30. It's going to cost us 600 gold. And we also get to see the levels in the attacks jump up from level 1 to level 3, so it kind of gives you a quick little breakdown of everything. As you can see here, the attack, defense, HP, everything goes up. So from level 1 to level 30 as a rare character, our attack jumped up 670, defense jumped up 406, and our HP jumped up over 9,000. So not too bad just starting off a 29 levels in. So now that he's maxed out, we can go to our evolution page. Yeah, we need 10 of these red books, and we already have enough of these medals here. There'll be evolution pendants. As you go, so your rare characters are going to require the rare evolution pendants all the way through. Even when they go to SR, SSR, and UR characters, they will always take the basic rare evolution pendant. So characters that are SR are going to require the SR pendants, and characters that are SSR that you automatically get will automatically take SSR pendants moving forward as you upgrade the characters. So we're going to click on this red book. We're going to go to location. So you got 3 different colors. You have the red Grimoires of Strength, and then you have your blue Grimoires, and then your green Grimoires for your agility-based characters and for your HP-based characters. So we can either get these books from the SP dungeon or from King. Once you have him as a unlockable character, he shows up in the tavern. We'll go to King and see if we have anything that we can merge here, which we do. So we have 14 level 2 grimoires. So I'm going to take those 14 level 2s and I'm going to lower exchange them. And so for every 1 level 2 that we exchange down, we gain 2 level 1s. So we already have 2 of them. 6, 8, 10. Okay, and then we'll just click on our little icon for the character that we were just at. And so now we can evolve him into an SR, and we'll get a different costume as soon as we evolve him into SR, and we can see potential stat increases once he goes up to level 40. These are what we are going to gain as far as our stats once we evolve the hero. Okay. Now we can go back to our enhancements, and we can max him out to level 40. So 2 of those. And then again, we see another stat increase. Every time you level up, you'll get a breakdown of what stats you increased moving forward. Okay, so I am right now out of evolution pendants for him, so I'm not going to worry about getting him to SSR right now. You pretty well get the gist of how to enhance and evolve characters. The more you evolve a character, the more requirements you're going to get down here, like our demon pieces that we get from battling demons, like the demon horns, stuff like that. As you progress, I think the cap right now on characters is level 90. So the more you evolve, the more you're going to have to grind to get the pieces that you need for the characters. Okay, so we're going to move on to the awakening portion now. The awakening portion, again, you have to grind for pieces, so every attribute of character, whether they're strength, agility, or HP, is going to require a different set of pieces to continue to awaken them. So we have 5 base levels of awakening, and then after that we can move into the super awakening, which require special awakening pendants, again, that you can get through events. You can purchase them, and you can get them as you kind of unlock other missions throughout the game. So it's pretty simple. Gives you a breakdown of everything that you need here. Once you have everything that you need to awaken to your level 1, we're going to pay 100,000. And then again, we get a increased stats, so our HP is going to go up, our critical resistance is going to go up by 2%, and our recovery rate, our health recovery rate, is going to go up by 3%. And then you also get a 7 Constellations GP award, which we don't have that unlocked yet. Once we get that unlocked, I will give a tutorial on that as well. So again, shows our stat increases. And then now we can move on to level 2. So now it's going to require a level 2 potion, and then we'd have to collect these amounts of items to continue on through the levels. Now, you can skip all of this by going to a full awakening all at once. Yes, $24 is pretty steep, and that's going to be per character. I usually don't do that. On just about every event that they come out, you can usually at least get 1 full awakening token. So I don't necessarily grind too much unless I'm trying to work on a specific boss to get all my awakening stuff. Normally I'll wait till events drop or the Hawk event drops, and then you can start collecting everything, and you can usually get between 1 or 2 of these full awakening tokens, which is nice because it allows you to skip this whole process. It helps so you don't have to grind. But we can also go straight to our exchange materials back to King to get our demon potions to help with the awakenings as well. So just another way to help get your characters maxed out. So sitting right now, Champion Taizo, with everything that we've done, his attack is plus 300, his defense is plus 120, critical damage is up 7.5% as soon as you awaken to level 2. Okay, so now we're going to go into the ultimate move. The ultimate move is pretty simple. The more tokens you collect of the same character after you have the initial character unlocked, if you end up drawing into them more from our draws by spending these gems up here, you get tokens of that character, then you can use those tokens to upgrade their ultimate move. So just going from level 1, it's going to inflict charge damage. It's equal to 700% of attack on one enemy. Going up to level 2 is the same thing, but we're going to up that to 770% of attack on a single enemy. So I'm sitting on 19 coins, so we're just going to go ahead and max him out to level 6 on his ultimate move. Okay, so every time we upgrade the ultimate move, we get 3 7 constellations GP. So that's pretty nice. We can stack up that GP pretty quick. So once you have the 7 constellations unlocked, you can really upgrade that, which further enhances all of your characters. It's not just for a specific character, but like I said, we'll get into that once we get that all unlocked. So, as we can see here, it says inflicts charge damage equal to 770% of attack on one enemy, and then it kind of gives you a little breakdown whenever it's in blue there. It says charge, it ignores defense. So it doesn't matter really what that character, the enemy or opponent character has for defense, it's going to ignore all of its defense stats and just deal that 770% attack damage. So it's pretty nice when you have a character that does inflict that charge damage. It's really nice. Okay, so we are maxed out now with his ultimate attack, and being maxed out, he's going to do 1050% of attack damage on a single enemy. So that's quite the jump. We jumped up 350% attack from level 1 to level 6. So as you build your character, of course, that percentage is going to reflect based off of whatever the attack damage that you build on this character. Okay, now equipment. There are several ways that we can go about equipping our characters with equipment. We have a slew of different things that we can equip, and it can get kind of overwhelming. One thing I will say, when you're just starting out, don't focus on upgrading a lot of this lower tier equipment. You're not going to need to. Basic equipment will get you pretty much through the entire story for the most part. The only time you really need to start worrying about upgrading your equipment is if you're going to go after event bosses, stuff like that. But I would highly suggest holding off until you're able to collect SSR equipment, then really start dedicating to upgrading your SSR equipment. Don't focus so much time and money and gems and everything into upgrading some of this lower stuff. If you're struggling in an area, by all means upgrade a little bit to enough where you can get past that area, but don't really focus on it heavily until you're able to consistently get SSR equipment. Now, and able to equip this to our character, we have a couple methods that we can choose from. We can go to recommended equipment. It's going to give you a list of the recommended equipment that you can equip onto whatever character that you want to, and it's going to give you a full breakdown of what everything does at the current levels of the equipment. So we can do it that way. We can equip. Everything's going to auto-equip onto the character. Then we'll get a small basic stat breakdown. So his attack went up 661, his defense went up 416, and HP went up almost another 4,000. Okay, these icons down here, the sword and shield, because we have more than 2 pieces of equipment of the same type, we get set bonuses. So we have 4 pieces of attack equipment. That's going to give us an onslaught set bonus of an additional 20% attack. And because we have 2 defense sets, we get a 2-part defense bonus stat, which is Iron Wall, and that's going to increase our defense 20%. So that's one way to equip equipment. Now we can manually equip equipment too. And when it comes to that, I like to look at the attribute of it, the race, whether it's a human, demon, angel, and unknown. There are some races within the game that are unknown. And we can look at our combat class, attack, defense, but we can also look at the skills that our character uses. So if you click on the skills here, we get the skill info. So inflicts, he has a powerful punch. So our basic is inflicts pierce battle damage equal to 160% of attack on one enemy. So pierce is 3 times pierce rate increase. When you have its skill in a battle times 3, it's going to do 400% of attack on one enemy. So obviously we're going to focus heavily on attack pieces and pieces, which we'll get into in just a minute, that does extra pierce rate. His other skill is Muscle Mania, so this one increases defense by 100% and reflects 40% of damage taken for 2 turns. So reflect is returns a portion of damage taken back to the attacker. So at level 3, it's going to increase his defense by 250%, reflects 100% of the damage taken for 3 turns. So it's really, really good. So again, we can base that off of defense, but we can also base that off of attack as well. And we get some specialty equipment later on, which once we start getting to unlock that, I'll show you as well. That kind of gives us life steal and stuff like that when it's equipped to our character. And then lastly, I like to look at their ultimates. So obviously ignores defense. So if I were to build Champion Taizo, I'm really going to focus more heavily on attack over defense, which when we did the autofill, it did that for us, but then we can go into the equipment itself and we can go in and change the stats. So right now, this is just a rare piece, doesn't really unlock anything, but as you upgrade these pieces from rare to SSR and then get all that maxed out as well, you can unlock these and you can swap these around and unlock more details within the piece itself, so all the enhanced stats. So we're going to go ahead and enhance this piece. It takes these enhancement stones. Again, we can dismantle equipment that we have with Deanne. That'll give us enhancement stones that we can use for this. I like to just use the consecutive enhance, brings this up. We're going to go ahead and just max it out at level 5. And then for the awakening tier, we can awaken it to a 1-star. It's going to use these awakening stones. Again, as we break down equipment with Deanne, we also get these stones as well that's used to upgrade our equipment even further. And then we can just, once we have it set wherever we want to, it's going to give us a breakdown. We want to be at a 1-star level 5, which is maxed out. So it's going to cost us 35 runes here, or enhancement stones, and then it's going to cost us 1 awakening stone and then 56,000 gold. So we got to 1-star, it's a +5. Our attack went up by 298, and now our critical chance, we get a critical chance bonus. Now we have some options here. We can use this hammer, which is going to increase our critical chance, or we can use the anvil, which is going to randomly change it to another bonus. So, since we used the anvil, it changed us randomly from our critical chance to an attack, and so our attack now is up 1.9%. which is what I want because we have a lot of pierce rate stuff with this character, so I want his attack to be continually higher. So I can close that, and then I can use this hammer here to further increase that stat bonus. So we went from 1.3% to 2.5%, and then you can keep going and max that out as much as you want to. Again, I like to do this based off the type of character that I'm using and against what type of boss that I need to beat. So you can get very technical with how the equipment kind of intermatches with characters. And so each equipment, you're going to have different logos, icons next to them. So obviously the swords are going to be based more around attack statuses. The shields obviously more around defense stats, hearts, life stats, HP stats, critical damage stats, all sorts of different things. So definitely take the time once you get later into the game and start fighting event bosses, stuff like that. Take the time to really look into your equipment so you can maximize each character to its highest potential. Okay, the last thing, or one of the last things here with the character development is the outfits. So when we go back and we look at the rare outfit that we had on, its defense is only 30. You can see where right now where we have our SR equipment or our SR uniform equipped, this was the jump that we got from it. So we got a plus 100 on defense, plus 2% on critical defense, and a plus 1% on critical resistance. With the new uniform, we have defense at 70, critical resistance 1%, critical defense at 2%, which is great for our reflect ability. We can also go in and enhance these costumes, which I don't have any enhancement stuff for the costumes yet. They do get expensive. But you can max these out to SSR all the way up to UR. Okay, and then weapons, which this particular character, since he fights with his hands and his hands only, he does not have any weapons. And then cosmetics is you can unlock just different kind of hairstyles for them. And again, same deal. Like with this Cock-a-Doodle-Doo hairstyle, his HP sits at 930, regeneration rate 1%, lifesteal 2%. Recovery rate on this one is just 4%. This next one, recovery rate is 2% with the regeneration of 1%. And all this one does right now is give us a HP boost of 210. And I actually do have some enhancement stuff for this, so I will hit max. We're going to use all 27 that I have. It's going to cost us 135,000 coins, but it's going to get us to 67.5% of the way to our SR, and we're going to boost our HP by 416. So won't be too bad. It'll be a nice little boost for him. Okay, jumping into another character here. Since this is Droll of Patience, he is one of the 10 commandments, so he has a commandment effect that hits as soon as he hits the field. So his commandment is Commandment of Patience. Applies an effect that increases resistance by 30% for 3 turns upon taking damage from a skill in PvP. This applies to allied and enemy heroes and applies when entering the battlefield. You can stack it up to 3 times. And then it kind of shows the unique display info. So it's active when entering the battlefield, active even in sub slot, active only in PvP, active, it is not active outside of PvP, active only in deathmatch, which it is, active outside of deathmatch, which it's not, active for all content, and active only in demonic beast battle. So it kind of gives you a breakdown of when and where this effect will hit. And then same thing with the other one that I'm about to show you as well that we need to unlock. So not all the characters have this part here. This is pretty much specific to the commandments. So if you don't know what the commandments are, get in the anime and manga. There's several of them as you unlock them. Derriere that I have that I ran in my party for a while is another one. But these here, every character has one of these unique abilities that you can unlock once you get to a certain combat class level. So, his unique ability is Shackle. So it applies an ultimate a move disable effect for 2 turns every time an enemy ultimate move gauge reaches 5 orbs, and it applies when entering the battle. So you have to have a required combat class of 16,000 to be able to attempt to unlock this. So we are going to have to battle to get this unlocked. Again, we can click up here. It shows when everything is active. So outside of PvP it's not active, and outside of deathmatch it's not active. So this skill only really works in PvPs and in deathmatches. So, you know, using Droll normally and anything else probably I wouldn't do. I would save him specifically for PvP or deathmatch battles. And so we're going to go ahead and attempt to unlock his So this shouldn't be too big of a deal here. I'm going to go ahead and mix up his Bedrock Arise because it does 120%, well actually more now. If you click and hold it, you can see it'll bring this up, inflicts damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies, and disables buff and debuff skills for 1 turn. You can also do the same thing here. By holding them, it's going to come up and show everything that they have. Okay, so they have a max HP of 19,000, their attack is almost 3,000, defense is 820, they're a giant warrior, they have the strength attribute, race is a giant, and then you can kind of see inflicts damage equal to 200% of one enemy, and what their ultimate move does, inflicts weak point damage equal to 200% of attack on all enemies, weak point 3 times damage against debuffed enemies. So, if they manage to debuff Droll, then that attack is going to do more if they get it off. Alright, let's see. Alright, cool. So our ultimate, again, just like Taizo, has charge, so it's going to ignore all of their defense stats, and we're going to do damage up to 455% on all the enemies. So this should end it here. Just in case not, we'll go ahead and finish it with our last level 3 skill.
まだ全てが終わったわけではありません。
And there it is. So now we have our unique stat available to us now. And if you pay attention through the loading screen, it kind of gives you a breakdown. Droll of Patience can inflict damage the higher the enemy's ultimate move gauge. He also uses the deadly debuff. So you can kind of read through those, and it kind of gives a nice little breakdown of, you know, some special effects that that character has. So now we can disable opponent's ultimate moves for 2 turns every time an enemy ultimate move gauge reaches 5 orbs. So the more orbs that they get, the stronger he gets. So not too bad. So every character that you have is going to have at least one unique ability that you're going to have to fight to unlock once you get to, I believe every single one of them are set at 16,000 CP. For your commandments, they are already active. Now, if you have more than one commandment, on your team, so I'll go to set team. Because I have Droll and I have Derriere, if I go to in a boss battle where I have all 4 characters, only one of the 2 commandments is going to be active at a time. So if I'm in a boss battle that allows me to have all 4 party members on the field, Droll's commandment is going to take effect first because he is in my main party. If Droll dies and Derriere comes in, then her commandment effect takes over. But if, let's say, Deanne dies, Droll stays in, and then Derriere comes in, Droll's commandment will still take reign over Derriere's commandment until he dies. So be mindful of that, especially if you're going to kind of follow the anime or manga and make a 4-person team using nothing but 4 of the 10 commandments, that you're only going to have 1 commandment active at a time, which isn't a bad plan depending on what you're doing in PvP or adventure or death battles, stuff like that. So whenever 1 commandment dies, you can have one of the other commandments kind of take over automatically. So again, they all apply different effects. It's not a bad plan. Okay, the last thing with the character developments, we can go here to Deanne, we can click on the broken sword, and then she can break down any spare equipment that we don't want. I'm not going to break, I'll break this stuff down. So just to kind of show you, I'll break all of this common armor and stuff down. We'll go to salvage. So, by breaking down the common stuff, we've got 21 stones. We were able to get 21 enhanced stones out of that breakdown. So the more rare the equipment that you break down is, the more rare you receive. You're going to end up getting more enhancement stones, you're going to get more evolution stones, higher rated evolution stones, to kind of keep evolving that equipment to build stronger characters. Alright, there it is, guys. Just a more in-depth tutorial on how to build up our characters for different things. Like I said, PvP, some of the harder boss matches, the death battles, all that fun stuff. You can get really in-depth with building your characters and just really maximizing your characters for whatever you want to use them for. Especially in PvP, I am constantly changing my characters on my other account for PvP battles. It is a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment, let me know what you guys think. We are going to do the event story mission, Save Spring, and Chapter 4 coming up in future videos. I hope everybody is being safe out there. We'll catch you in the next video.